Lionel Zinsou, you are Chief Executive Officer of the PAL private equity company. You are a great investor, I think, in Africa. It's sometimes said that Africa, rather than Asia, will be the continent of the 21st century. Do you agree?
Yes, I agree. But I'm not a great investor in Africa.
Why
I'm
not?
an African citizen, but I'm running a company. I'm the CEO of a company which, by its bylaws, has to invest in Europe. But what is interesting is that investing in Europe, we have probably in our portfolio companies something like 15,000 employees in Africa. Why? Just because European companies, like many multinational companies, they all have an African history. They all have development and growth in Africa. Through one of our portfolio companies, for instance, Swissport, we manage handling in African airports. The whole of South Africa, Kenya, Cairo, Algiers, and it's thousands of people on the ground. But this is true of our food companies, this is true of our service companies, technical industrial service companies. So even when a private equity fund is not an African private equity fund, but a European one or an American one, today the share of Africa in its business mechanically grows. Having said that, we hope to create an African fund and raise funds for Africa only, on due course, but quite soon.
It's sometimes said, particularly by Europeans, that the great problem of Africa is governance. They're talking Africa as a whole, but particularly, I think, Africa south of the Sahara. And I know that Mo Ibrahim, for example, gives a prize each year to a president or democratically elected leader who has stepped down after a period of good governance and has stepped down voluntarily. And he didn't award it this year in 2012. He awarded it last year, I think, but not in 2010. I mean, is there a real problem of governance? And if so, how do you solve it?
You have two ways of resolving this issue. We are making governance progress across the continent in terms of elections, in terms of public opinion making a difference, in terms of people defending their rights. So the political governance is clearly progressing, improving, even if it's very, very complex, even if it has to go through Arab revolutions and so on. Undoubtedly, we are making progress. In economic governance, we are the continent where, in terms of public spending, indebtedness and control of indebtedness, control of inflation, probably the progress has been the most significant of all continents in the last 10, 15 years. It has been said in this conference by President Ouattara, commenting on Ivory Coast and African major economic indicators. Having said that all, we are in need of immense progress going ahead in terms of governance, because the welfare of our people is at the lowest possible level on earth. That's very, very clear. We have failed public systems, public services. You cannot say I have a good governance, but I have no public health system which is working, even if, again, we have progressed, but obviously today we are at the lowest level. You cannot say I have a very good political governance, I have no education. You cannot say we have no education, because we have made immense progress again, but we are at the lowest level. So you can say both things. We have made progress. They are quite spectacular and were totally unexpected in a sense. But the task for the next generation ahead of us remains immense, the most of probably all continents.
So we wish them great luck. Lionel Zinsou, thank you very much indeed.
It was my pleasure.